30 seconds, guys.
After they set every agenda.
I know. Everybody set? Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to the January 6th Council Work Session. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance before we get started. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Mr. Sabosley, if you take over, please. Okay.
For the January meeting of council, first item, number one, conditional use approval, short-term rental for 231 Duquesne Boulevard. DJ?
Sure, this one was heard at the Planning Commission November 18th and the public hearing here with council December 2nd. Staff's recommending approval of this resolution for the accessory use short-term rental located at 231 Duquesne Boulevard, CU 0224, with really just two conditions: that the applicant complies with section 461, which deals with short-term rentals as an accessory use in the zoning ordinance, and the applicant must schedule and complete an adequate occupancy inspection to be performed by the borough's building inspector prior to renting the property.
So is this something that should be inspected more often than a regular, like a sale, since it'll be a rental?
My understanding is, from what I understand, so this might not be 100%, but it's, once they get their inspection, it's just like any other commercials. Should she choose it or change the use, could open her up for another inspection, but once she has it, it would just comply like any other commercial structure.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
So I think one of the conditions of the conditional use itself is an occupancy inspection of the property prior to any rental of the property.
Yeah, and that was the second condition there.
Okay.
Just the initial rental or a second? Like, let's say the homeowner moved out of the first floor, and she wants to rent, or he wants to rent that floor and the second floor, it won't be there at all. Is a condition of the occupancy that the homeowner will be there?
Well, the condition of our ordinance is that for short-term rentals, the property owner has to live there at least 6 months. And I think this property owner has indicated on the record that she is going to be living there full-time still.
Right, but if that changed, it would still be a violation of the ordinance, not necessarily.
Correct.
Commercial use.
Yeah. Just like the commercial where Nick Saban is the host for the rental.
So would we know if she moved out?
No.
So then what kind of protection do we have that 10 months from now, she decides to move out and rent both of them?
Well, this is our first short-term rental approval. We can make a note for code enforcement if council wishes that every year at the beginning of the year we follow up with the homeowner just to see the status of the property and how the rentals are moving forward.
I think we should have some kind of protection in there, because if we're basing it on her living there and we don't know that she moves out and now she's renting both, then, so I would make that a stipulation or something that, once a year, we do a walkthrough of the property.
So DJ, if you want to make a note in the resolution for next week, that we put that in there.
I'm open for this, and if she is too, then she's planning on staying there. I don't think she'll have any, like upsetness with it.
What are the other protections? What protections do the neighboring properties have as far as this not turning into, I just know of one in an area not here at Plum.
I think it's gonna be the same.
Real nice, and
Yeah.
it's not so nice.
Well, the protection is that the owner's living there. That's the protection for 6 months.
Yeah, and also, you know, the process, the conditional use process, we held a public hearing last month giving the neighbors, we posted the property. So the neighbors had the ability to offer testimony into the record about their support or opposition to that. And we didn't have anyone pro or con, right?
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, agenda item.
Item number 2, Verico/McCloskey sewage planning module.
Okay, this one is, we've seen these come through the last couple months on occasion. This one's for a small flow treatment facility. This is just the boroughs formalizing the resolution and things that will be required, and then Dave will sign off on behalf of the boroughs, the secretary. It's just the formalizing of the process before it gets submitted to DEP for their approval. All the paperwork seems to be in order from our review, and that's it. Kinda
Does
simple.
the county get involved in this?
County Health does, because we're in Allegheny County.
Right.
So it's, because of the nature of it, if it was tying into public sewer, it would also involve PBMA. In this case, it doesn't. So their engineer submitted pretty detailed packet of what they're planning to do. Submit it to us, we complete a small portion of it. Allegheny Health also gets it. It'll go on to DEP, and DEP approves it.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, that'll be an agenda item.
Item number 3 is 320 Elliker Road. We have another sewage planning module.
This one's the same type of module. It's again for a small flow treatment facility. Exact same process. This is just one more step along the way. Same engineering firm prepared the package. Same thing. County Health, us, and DEP have to sign off on it for the approval.
So this again is is a septic tank? Or is it like the mound sand thing?
They're actually calling it a small flow treatment facility. So I think it's more than a traditional tank. I think this is more of on-lot treatment, and then it'll discharge accordingly, probably to the nearest stream like the other ones we've been seeing.
Don't they have to, if there are public sewers available, don't they have to tap in?
Yeah, neither one of these is close to a public sewer. So in the future, if PBMA would run the sewer up past this with, and I forget the distance, it's within a certain distance of the structure, they'll be forced to tie in and connect.
I thought there was a,
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, that'll be an agenda item also.
Item number 4, we have a submission, the Ritter Plan of Lots. This is to be accepted by council as complete. DJ, do you want to tell us about the proposed lot line revision?
Sure, this is a simple subdivision along Old Leechburg Road. There's an existing dwelling, and they're gonna subdivide the one existing tract into two parcels. Essentially, one will be something along the lines of a standard lot, leaving the balance of the vacant property is a separate lot in this case. Really just cut and dry. Tonight's just putting it on the agenda for next week for you guys to formally accept it. And then in February, you would actually be making your motion to approve it or, table it if there were still outstanding conditions.
Comments or questions? Okay, that'll be an agenda item.
The next item is the Allegheny River Development Corporation. You can see in your packet that council or the borough received a letter on December 9th of last year asking the borough to, or council to provide a letter of support. The Allegheny River Development Corporation they're a nonprofit that works to seek funding for the operations of the locks on the Allegheny River. So they're seeking to raise money, and they're asking for our letter of support. Previously, this group, they're the successor to a group known as the River Navigation Coalition. Back in 2003, the borough passed a resolution number 603-03, providing a letter similar to this, providing support for their attempts to support the locks and dams. So they're just asking for a letter of support from council for their efforts to raise money.
So this doesn't cost us anything,
No,
it's just a letter of
not at all.
support
Not
for
at
them
all.
to do it.
Correct.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, agenda item.
The next item, the Rockland Manor, there's a retention basin there. DJ, I'll let you talk about it, but previously, the borough had passed a resolution or an ordinance committing to the maintenance of this pond. Now, DJ, they're asking to dedicate the pond to the borough?
Yeah, this is kind of not typical for what we would do nowadays. For some reason, in 2001, the borough did pass an ordinance 644-01, accepting the maintenance responsibilities for the detention facility, but did not take the property with it. So it's still in the name of the developer. This advertising, and then next month accordingly, the new ordinance would basically accept the dedication. They've already prepared the deed. We have it in our office. But we have to go through the process now to actually take title to the property, even though we're responsible to do all the maintenance and have been doing the maintenance. It's just clearing the title for the property. We seem to have found a couple of these lately that are similar conditions from around this time period, but yeah, it's something you wouldn't see traditionally. Nowadays, you would take title of the property with the pond maintenance if you were to do that. So this is just kind of fixing a title issue from back then.
Is this the one that's off of New Texas Road, or it's up in the plant a little further?
It's up off of Cobblestone, I think
Yeah,
is the
okay.
street.
So we've already been doing the maintenance on it, so it already meets our criteria,
For the last 20 years.
so we're good.
Yeah, and we had, even though there was snow, we did have Benny go out and take a look. He said the fence is up, there's some landscaping trees that are there. But yeah, we've even done one mucking out of the pond, so to speak, in the last couple of years. So
Okay.
it's up to our standards.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, agenda item.
Last item under planning and economic development is a data sharing agreement with Allegheny County. There are times when we need information from Allegheny County for our GIS system. We do updates, and in fact, with this newest issue with the garbage billing and the stormwater billing, and we're looking for an update, even though we have information from the county, and they're happy to provide it to us, and in fact, they already have provided us with an update. But they're asking that we put an agreement in place for the next 3 years that sort of formalizes this data sharing between the two entities. The agreement should be in your packet. It's pretty standard language, but we've worked well with the county in the past on this, and staff would recommend that we move forward with this agreement.
Questions or comments? Okay, agenda item.
One second here. Under personnel and management, we had two executive session items. One is the library lease, which was tabled last month or didn't appear on the agenda. That will appear. All parties are ready to move forward with that. And then there will be appointments for boards and commissions. We have certain appointments made every year: Planning Commission, Zoning Hearing Board, Municipal Authority. So as part of the usual January agenda, we'll have appointments to those boards and commissions.
Do we need to put that on the agenda?
Yes, and I would do that for both of those.
Okay, for the library lease and the boards and commission appointments, we have any discussion or questions? None? Okay, both things will be on the agenda next week.
Under public safety, last month we had the fire chiefs here to talk about a stipend program that that council is working on with the Fire Chiefs Association. We have gone back and forth with language on this agreement, and we continue to do so. And I would hope that by next Monday we'll have reached an agreement on that language. So staff would recommend that we move this forward to the agenda for next Monday.
Questions or comments? Okay, we'll put it on the agenda.
Nothing under Parks and Rec or Finance, roads, equipment, and grounds. Every year, we do a paving program. We budget money, some liquid fuels funds, some street improvement funds for paving. The Public Works Department and the Borough Engineer had come up with a list of streets back in the fall. I had met with the Roads, Equipment and Grounds Committee about this list. It was one of the items they talked about, and they have given their blessing to move that list forward. All we're asking at the January meeting is to be able to advertise this program. We're still working with the engineer, and in fact, we have a meeting with Charlie on Wednesday to talk about how that bid is going to happen. There's going to be a certain base bid, and there's going to be a bid, like an ad alternate for this. So we're just asking for your permission to, right now, to advertise this as we've done every year, with the goal of receiving bids in January and awarding the bids at the February meeting.
Questions or comments?
Just one thing, Dave, pertaining to Parks and Rec. Can we get in touch with our baseball, football, and lacrosse people to plan our early meeting before spring and everybody gets up and running?
In fact, we talked about that at our Monday morning meeting this morning. I think that DJ, you and Bill were talking about getting one member of those groups together to talk about dates, use of the fields. Last year, we ran into an issue about trying to seed the fields. Right, so, yeah, we are working on a date for that.
Okay, any questions with the paving program or comments? Okay, that'll be an agenda item.
So, yeah.
That's all you have? Okay, need to adjourn? I need a motion? I got a motion by Mr. Slock and a second by Mr. Purcell. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
Thanks, Dave.